A great example of this would be the hack squat, one of the most poorly executed movements in the gym. Now, let's just say your goal is quad growth, and you have two sets. One set is closer to your 10 RM, meaning by rep 10, you don't really have another rep left, and the other set is closer to your 15 RM. Even though the 10 RM set is heavier, the 15 RM set will almost always create more direct quad stimulus. And here's why. As load increases, systemic demand increases. Your body starts recruiting more muscle to help stabilize the movement and produce force. In a hack squat, that usually means more work gets shifted into your glutes and hip flexors, your adductors, especially out of the bottom, your core and bracing musculature, and even your upper body, especially if you're pushing through the handles. Now, as the weight gets heavier, more and more effort shifts into everything else, and the quads start losing tension to the rest of the system. Now, you can control the tempo with both weights, but one provides the quads with a better stimulus than the other. At the 15 RM, the quads can only be eccentric with minimal assistance from other muscles, and with less joint connective tissue stress, which provides a better overall stimulus. And with the 10 RM set, the nervous system will inevitably compensate more, pulling in greater assistance from other muscles just to manage the load, which takes away from the stimulus. Same tempo, same machine, completely different stimulus. And this is where people get confused. They think if I can hack squat more weight with the same tempo, that must mean more tension. But it doesn't, because tempo doesn't determine stimulus. Intentional tension distribution does. Remember, if your nervous system is distributing the load more just to produce the same quality rep with more weight, your quads are no longer the limiting factor. And when the quads stop being the limiting factor in prime mover, quad growth stops being the outcome. And that's why heavier doesn't always mean more effective. Sometimes heavier simply means more compensation, more systemic fatigue, more leverage, more momentum, more joint connective tissue stress, and less direct quad tension. So understand, heavier loads do increase total force requirements, but they also increase the cost of producing that force, which can reduce how much it stays in the target muscle. But let me be clear, there is no single end-all be-all rep range for hypertrophy. If you personally feel a 10 RM set gives you a better quad stimulus than a 15 RM set, that's fine. There's no right or wrong here. The reason I'm addressing this is because it's a literal fact. The closer you get to your 1 rep max, meaning the heavier the weight gets for you, the more all these things we just talked about have to come into play. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The higher the systemic demand, the more assistance from assisting muscles, and the more tension that's going to be distributed away from the target muscle. So what matters here is choosing the rep range where you can be the most consistent at keeping tension in the target muscle that you're trying to grow. And that's why it's so important to be able to drop your ego and be real with yourself about what you're trying to accomplish with the load that you're intending to move.